Hello and welcome back to the second episode of this series. Today I'll be recapping everything from the last 2 weeks and going over my plan for each one of my positions. We are currently down from the last update. I expected a bit of a drawdown, but honestly it wasn't too bad. I'm still up over 5% year to date, but I would not be surprised if the market stalls a bit from here. Let's start with Rocket Lab and that $80 covered call from a few weeks ago. As you can see, Rocket Lab stayed above 80, almost reaching the hundreds at one point. So I sold 25 Rocket Lab shares to cover the cost of rolling out this option, bringing my total to 200 shares. I went with cheaper 115 calls for about a month out. Rocket Lab might get there by then, but I can't imagine it stays over 120 for very long. In case you couldn't tell, I love this stock long term. I love this stock so much so that I think I'm going to exercise this $30 call instead of selling it once it gets closer to expiration. That would slightly reduce my cost basis and put me at 300 shares total, which I think is a solid long-term position. And I do want to sell these $75 options soon. Again, it's a great stock, but it has made its move and these positions have done their job. It's time to redeploy that cash elsewhere. Speaking of elsewhere, what is going on with Robinhood? Down 5% this year. I think I'm putting this on the buy list if it gets in the low 90s. I'm slightly concerned about these $155 calls way out of the money right now, but Robinhood is one of those stocks that can get back to the 150 levels in a few weeks if it gets a good bid. Even if we get some turbulence for the first bit of this year, I think we bounce back with Robinhood. Near term, I'm pretty bearish, so I put on the 120 covered calls for 2 weeks out. I didn't want to go further out since their earnings are on the 10th, and I might want to hold my shares uncovered that week. I also sold a covered call for my Nvidia shares. Now, I've been reflecting on where I think my portfolio should go in the future, and I'm not sure if Big Vidi is a part of my 2026 plan. I just can't see it getting too far above 200 this year. Maybe 250, but even then, probably not. Maybe I'm wrong, but it takes a lot of cash to move this stock, and it really needs to find the buyers to get there. Great company. Really great company, but I sold some fairly aggressive covered calls at 200 for about a month out. The plan at the moment is to sell more and more aggressive calls until my shares get called away. This may take a few months, give or take, but that's my current plan. Other than that, I'll do a quick rundown of the rest of my portfolio. SoFi. I bought more SoFi, 25 shares. Cost basis of $26.21. Love me some SoFi. I might try and buy as many shares as I can before earnings this week if I can get a good price. Rivian. This one is still on the buy list, waiting for it to drop lower, but there are a lot of things I'd like to buy, so I might miss out on the current Rivian discount. Venture Global. What is stock? Year to date, it is up 38%. I should have bought more of these options like I talked about last week. I think this one's going up easily back to the high teens. It may take a while, but honestly, I think it could get there within the next month. It's hard to justify buying more after such a strong move, but I might have to get some more of these VG options. I'll be looking at strike prices around $15 to $20 for as far out as possible. Grab. Love this one. I bought 2 more $7 options for 2028. It's just hard to justify putting much more into this one since it may take a while for it to play out. It's definitely still on the buy list though. Nibius. Also a buy. I'm looking for prices in the 80s. Nanonuclear. I'd love more, but it's really hard to buy this in the 30s since I just bought it a few weeks ago in the mid-20s. I'll look to buy more of it if it dips back down into the 20s. Really like the nuclear sector right now. Zeta. I bought 20 shares of Zeta recently. It might be a pretty big stock this year. It's pretty volatile, so it could go back down to the teens pretty easily, in which case I'd likely fill out the rest of my position. The Copper Mining ETF. I read a thesis recently on copper that made me want to buy into CopX. I don't see myself getting to 100 shares of this one, but I do want to be a part of the copper scene as late as I am to it. Of course, I also deposited $1,000 when I got my last paycheck, so the total cash in my portfolio was just under $500. That covers everything I did over the past 2 weeks and how I plan to navigate the market going forward. Good luck in your own journey, and take care.